It's 5:30 p.m. here in Singapore, and you're watching The Big Story, where we will discuss the hottest topics of the day and explain why they matter. I'm Haryanto Diman, coming to you live from the Straits Times newsroom. It's back to school today for students across Singapore after the Chinese New Year break. This comes amid some online chatter that the reopening of schools should have been delayed. The Ministry of Education, or MOE, did not delay the opening of schools for a week or two, like what Hong Kong has done. The decision came after MOE sought advice from medical experts, as there is currently no evidence of community spread of the virus in Singapore. MOE added Singapore's situation is different from Hong Kong, as Hong Kong is closer to the epicenter of the Wuhan virus outbreak. We also spoke to parents and primary school pupils about precautions taken on the first day of school. Have a look.
Kita bimbang jugalah, kalau boleh jauhkanlah.
我是照常样，没有什么担心啦，只是说不要出国啦，不要去人多的地方啦，这样。
Ada kasih mask, ada kasih temperature dia check, diorang check. Sebelum masuk ke sekolah tu diorang check dulu kanak-kanak ni. Sama ada kanak-kanak ni ada sema-sema ke batuk ke apa, diorang ambil tindakan juga, memang ada ambil tindakan.
When I go to MRTs, my mother would usually tell me to wear mask because there's a lot of people, so like this will increase the chances of getting the virus.
我没有戴，我不习惯呢，我戴了。人家咳嗽我会人闪开啦。
My mother is buying more masks and hand sanitizer in case something bad happens. And she always asks us to wash our hands before eating and after eating.
Now we have journalist Jolene Ang to share more with us. Hi Jolene. Jolene, so MOE put up the post with regard to there is no delay to the opening of school. And one other issue that is addressed in the post as well is the difference between a leave of absence and a quarantine order. Could you explain to us what is the difference between the two?
Okay, the leave of absence was first mentioned a few days ago, right? When they said that for students and teachers, anyone who had travelled to China, in the past 2 weeks, they would be on a 14-day leave of absence, so they would do home-based learning for students. So firstly, the difference between the two is that the leave of absence is not legally binding, whereas a quarantine order is, and if someone doesn't comply when they are served the quarantine order, they can face penalties. But in both cases, the individuals, whether it's leave of absence or quarantine orders, they're both healthy. So it's just that if you are served a quarantine order, it means that you have a higher risk of exposure to the virus. For example, if your family member has the virus, for example. Right. Yeah. So for the leave of absence, it's more of a precautionary measure. Yeah. So it's not as strict. So for example, MOE also said that if you're under the LA, it doesn't mean that you have to stay at home the whole time. So maybe you can still go out to buy a meal or something. Yeah, you don't have to isolate yourself completely.
Right. And of course, for the students, for example, if they are unable to attend school for, say, LOA reasons and such, what arrangements are there for these students then?
Okay, so previously, I think Education Minister Ong Ye Kung also said that it doesn't mean that if you're on a LOA, it's an extended holiday. So you still have to do your work. There's still homework, there's still assignments. Right. It's just that it's all done from home, and the students can contact the teachers through, for example, email if they have any questions or if they can't keep up in class. So they still have to do their own revision, their own learning at home. Yeah. And we've asked MOE for more details on exactly how this home-based learning will be implemented. Right. Because the schools have experience with e-learning before, but now it's on a national level rolled out in all schools. So we've asked for more details, but MOE has yet to respond to us.
Right. Now, Jolene, of course, some university dorms have been converted to quarantine facilities as well, and there were concerns that this would put the wider student population at risk. What is MOE's response to that?
Okay, yeah. So there are in the three universities, NTU, NUS and SMU, there are certain hostels that have been designated as government quarantine facilities, but it's only certain blocks in certain halls. And apparently, according to the FAQ, these three areas have been designated as the government's as places for in cases of disease outbreaks. Yeah. So, but MOE did say that there are safeguards in place to make sure that there are no unnecessary risks for the people around them. So for example, if you are quarantined, primarily it's for students or staff who have no better area for quarantine. For example, if they don't have accommodation of their own, like if you are a student from China and you don't have a house of your own, then and if you are suspected, you're at risk, then they will put you there. But a person serving the quarantine order will not be able to leave the designated area for the entire period, and they will not be able to use all the common facilities. They will not be allowed to have visitors, and even food and drink and all, it will be delivered to them. So they can't actually really have any human contact with people outside of the designated area. So I think that is quite reassuring.
Well, thank you so much, Jolene, for coming onto the show to explain further with regard to MOE's response to the school reopening that is today. Now, for more on this story, you can visit our website at straitstimes.com.